COVID-19. Today, I'm joined by Reagan Moak. She's a
Hi.
senior at Mississippi State University who has been working with our Extension Health Sciences team her freshman year. Reagan's also the reigning Miss MSU, so she knows and loves this great institution. Thanks for joining us, Reagan.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm very excited to be here and talk about this.
Great. So tell me a little bit about how COVID-19 has impacted you and your fellow college at the end of your senior year. It's been cut short. How has that been?
Yeah, so in all honesty, it's been very difficult just to kind of navigate through what this means as far as we aren't going to get closure with our friends and with our faculty. We aren't going to get those lasts that we thought we would get to have and we were hanging on to. But it has been an eye opener to still be there to support your friends and to be open and available to talk to other people. So I've really enjoyed that part. I think the hardest part so far for me is that I would have been the first person to graduate from an undergraduate institution in my family. So being first generation, it's hard not to get to walk across that stage. That was something I was really looking forward to. But nonetheless, I will have a degree from this great institution and will get to move on and attend medical school. So I'm very grateful for that.
Wow. Wow, Reagan. I'm really sorry. I can't imagine how difficult this must have been. At the risk of sounding too casual about COVID-19, I would ask though, what silver linings have you seen?
So, one of the biggest things I've noticed during this experience and having a lot of time to just reflect during quarantine is the fact that I took so many things for granted. And I think I can also speak for some of my friends who I've had this conversation with. Just being able to sit in class or just interact with your peers and your professors, getting to complain about how I wanted to get up and go get a coffee so badly so many times. Um, just getting to go to church and getting to go to meetings. It's just simple things like that that you typically take for granted. And I think that one thing that's been pretty awesome is I've gotten to keep up with my family. It's been a really great reminder to call them and check in on them every single day, even though we can't be together right now, as most of my family is still getting to work. So we're just wanting to be safe and stay separated for
Mm.
now. But another really awesome thing is just being able to see how kind people have been so far. And just spreading kindness more so than fear wherever they're able to. So, my mom is actually a first responder, and a really awesome thing is someone in her neighborhood took it upon themselves to order meals. I think it was last night for all of the first responders and all of the healthcare workers. So just that little example, it's really been awesome to see people step up and try to take care of each other during this.
That's that is really powerful. Thanks for giving us those insights. And it has definitely brought families closer together. I'm seeing that in my own extended family. We're talking more frequently than we did before. It's hard to see those positive things in difficult times like this. So I commend you for being able to find those and pull them out, talk about them. So now, for just a second, let's talk about how this is changing your perspective on healthcare medicine and public health. I know that you're headed to med school after this. Congrats on getting in. That's a remarkable feat. So we're super proud of you from our team, and I know your family must be proud of you. Tell me, what shifts are you seeing in your own thinking about, and how do you think this is going to impact your next 4 years of training in medicine?
Right. So from the time I was a little girl, I have just been enthralled with medicine and the idea of getting to help people and spend my whole life getting to serve others. And as I've gotten older, that idea has matured with me. And I've learned that not only do I love how dynamic the field is and getting to learn every day, but I love the humanity. And I think that I've seen that so
Mm.
much more now than recently. Which has been really awesome to see. And it also has just kind of ignited this passion in me to want to learn more and to want to be the best that I can be and to make sure that I am taking every single opportunity in school to become the best provider that I can be. I think this has been a really great reminder of that as I've gotten to see some of these people on the front line just really give it their all and just be selfless in this pursuit. And as far as public health,
Mm.
it's something, as you know, I fell in love with getting to work with your team, and I got to see how amazing education can be, especially in like preventative measures. And I think if anything, this has made me want to go out and pursue my MPH even more so after medical school. And I would like to educate the public. I've seen how powerful the education's been during this time as far as not spreading fear and allowing people to know what they need to do to protect themselves and to protect others. So if anything, it's just made this passion even stronger for me and given me a reason to fight a little bit harder over these next 4 years and for the rest of my life.
Well, thanks for getting on with us today, Reagan. This is part of that education and spreading education and information and not fear. And you've got a great perspective on this. You've certainly got an exciting 4 years ahead. Unlike that of anyone else who's gone to med school in the last several decades, this is a remarkable time to be coming into to medical school and training for a career in medicine. Before we sign off, I want to come back to the impact of COVID-19 on you and your peers. What would you tell our viewers, our participants in this session, about how to connect and be sensitive to all you've been through, mindful, of course, that we're all affected by this trauma, but thinking about specifically, what do you recommend for us to connect with those of you that are in college and are graduating and are missing out on these opportunities?
Yeah, and like you said, we are all going through such a difficult and unique time, whether it be us struggling with finances or job security or health or the health of loved ones or just, being lonely, being by yourself and kind of waiting out this time. So I think what's important to understand is as we are all suffering, we have to still remember that individuals have their own struggles. And so, for instance, I'm going through my issue with the graduation and just trying to work through that, but everyone
Mhm.
else still has all their personal issues. Things like mental health haven't gone away. So I just think that it is important to be gracious with others. People cope in different ways. So I think that just being kind and being aware of everyone's situation or just being available to talk through this time. I think that the way that we're going to get through this is being there for each other. And I almost think that that's the best thing that might come out of this is us reuniting as a community and as a society. So I would just remind everyone to be kind and to be gracious and to just try to reconnect those bonds throughout this time of pain.
Reagan, thank you. And thank you, viewers, for joining us today. We're, as Reagan just said, we're all in this boat together, just trying to row to shore. And I hope that hearing from some of us in Extension brings you a little encouragement and adds something to your toolbox of skills that you need to help get to shore. And as you use these tools and others that you already have, I encourage you, like always, to stay vigilant and stay healthy. Tune in next time. We'll be back to talk more in our conversations about coronavirus or COVID-19. Have a great afternoon.